Today, we are exploring a theme that is really close to my heart: authenticity. You know, a lot of people are afraid to be authentic. And early on in my career, I tried so hard to fit into the mold. I wore the right clothes. And then I realized this is so silly. I just didn't feel like myself. So it wasn't until I embraced my true self, even with my quirks and my craziness, that I found my path to real success. So today we have some incredible visionary CEOs, CMOs, and just the best people who are going to share with you their thoughts on authenticity across all areas of the workplace. And maybe you'll learn something. If you are looking for some inspiration in marketing and brand strategy, you're going to love Kristy Hoskins. She is the Vice President and Chief Marketing Officer at La-Z-Boy, one of the most comfortable jobs in the world. She's been known for her keen ability to understand what makes consumers tick and turn that knowledge into innovative marketing campaigns. So we're going to have a great conversation. Welcome to Liftoff, Kristy.
Nice to meet you as well.
Well, when you're working with an iconic brand like La-Z-Boy that is known for its authenticity to deliver exactly what it's meant to deliver, how do you keep that authenticity in the brand while going after the right consumer audience?
We did a lot of work as a team to understand kind of what our brand stood for, who was buying us today, and kind of what our general problems to solve were. And we're a nearly 100-year-old brand, and we had an aging customer population. And we were we were seen as grandpa's chair, right? So not the most relevant. So we got clear on who we were. So we are a comfort brand. We stand for comfort. Comfort is a universal need. It's a timeless need. It never goes out of style. We got clear on who wants what we have. So we did a segmentation and got clear on the fact that there's a big group of consumers out there that don't want a showpiece home. They want a home that they can live in, that they can do life in, that they can let the worries of the world melt away in. And so we found the people who kind of wanted what we have. And then we looked out in culture and in life and said, what are the conversations happening today? What are the things people are talking about? So we've been able to have some really interesting activations. One of them was around the idea of JOMO. So, FOMO was a thing for a long time, but now there's this kind of counter push of the joy of missing out. And so we did an activation called the decliner. So instead of the recliner, we created a recliner that declines plans so that you can just, snuggle up in your comfortable furniture at the end of the day and just enjoy some me time.
How do you bring your own personality and personal traits into the workplace in a way that can support what you're doing?
I err on kind of the analytical side. And so I let my natural curiosity kind of lead me to the what's possible and what can be. And I kind of tap into that analytical approach to bring people along too and build credibility in the work that we're doing. And so I kind of focus that on the consumer, on the marketplace, on our opportunities, and am able to kind of bring back a consumer first database sort of plan and strategy to the organization to get buy-in. And so that's kind of who I am at the core. And that allows me to kind of build on my strengths to enable the plans, to find a path forward for the team, and to really get buy-in to the work that we're doing and build credibility in it.
You have got some incredibly powerful ideas, and I can't wait to see them in market and watch you continue to be successful.
Thank you.
We are so excited to introduce you to Sabrina Traskos. She's a trailblazing procurement executive. Who thought procurement executives belong on TV shows? We did, and so here she is. Sabrina's journey from negotiating high-stakes deals at global powerhouses like Regeneron, AstraZeneca, and Dentsu, and as a mentor and advisory board member have led her here today, driven by one guiding principle: authenticity. Sabrina, you're a leader in the procurement space. My background is in marketing and business, and the thoughts of procurement sometimes make me happy and sometimes they don't, but you seem like a really great person. So as a procurement specialist, you're working with internal stakeholders, you're working with legal and compliance teams, you're working with all the vendors and contracts. So to pull it all together, I know, I have heard that in your role, being authentic is one way to break the ice and start to build relationships. What do you think?
I think authenticity in this space and procurement is actually a game changer. So there's a lot of procurement people, for better or for worse, who believe that you have to be tough all the time, especially with suppliers. You have to be deferential to stakeholders and maybe not true to yourself. But what I've found is that people who stay true to themselves, who are authentic, who just are consistent across the board and focus on doing the right thing are the ones that are going to succeed. They're the ones you remember. They're the ones that you want to do business with. And it's just such a better way to go about doing things.
I think that makes so much sense because I find out in my role, whether it's marketing or on the business side, it's just when you can just build those relationships, it
Yeah.
opens the doors because people want to be more trusting and more truthful and they want to negotiate with you too, right?
Yeah. And especially in our business, innovation is something that's so important. So you want to build relationships so that you've got a partner who will bring something to you, which is, oh, well, we haven't done this before, but listen to our idea. And it might be the best idea you could possibly have to market your product.
Given the financial constraints on every business through every part of the supply chain right now, procurement teams that I work with are always looking to renegotiate, whether it's of their own purview or of leadership's directive that we need to look for cost savings. How are you managing renegotiations in times when everybody is strapped, prices of goods are higher, prices of service are higher, yet here you are being tasked with finding a better way to do the best economic deal to benefit the company that you're working with?
I think you can work with your partners, and context is so important. I think if you can explain to the partners you're working with about what is going on with your pricing pressure, what is going on with the margins that you're trying to hit, what is the message that you're trying to tell Wall Street in terms of hitting your numbers. I think if you have good partners, if you've been authentic, if you've been true to your partners and honorable, they will do what they can to help you because they're invested in your brand as much as you are.
Yeah.
So I think there's a lot of different aspects, and you can get creative within the pricing parameter and how the revenue goes in order to make it work overall.
I love that so much. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you very much for having me.
We're going to be right back with another great guest. All right, today we're kicking things off with Jim Trebilcock. He used his authenticity over 3 decades to get experience in top tier leadership roles, including Chief Marketing Officer, Chief Commercial Officer, and most recently, Chief Concentrate and International Officer at Keurig Dr Pepper. Jim, welcome to Liftoff.
Well, I appreciate it very much.
So you've worked with so many authentic brands like Dr. Pepper, which is the most authentic brand for anybody that's lived in Texas. How did you maintain that authenticity throughout your career, not only with the brands you work with, but with yourself as well?
Yeah, it's a great question. It really started, I think, early in my career. I had really good mentors, and when you have people around you that are leading you in the right way, the first half of my career was really establishing who the heck I was as a leader, what I believed in, my knowledge, my experience. And that really formed the basis when I became CMO in 2009 for all of Dr. Pepper Snapple at the time. It really allowed me to use the learning that I had in the first half of my career to be who I was as a leader, which was all based upon being collaborative, a really good listener, honest with people. And one of the things we tried to do was it was the golden rule: treat others as you would like to be treated.
So tell me, what are you up to now?
Well, I'm enjoying 2 grandchildren and my 3 dogs, and my wife and I are doing a bit of traveling, but I'm also consulting for Evergreen Trading Company, which is a uniquely differentiated media barter company. And I'm also a senior advisor to Loudon Live, which is a Latin entertainment and marketing organization out of Miami. And they do amazing work for the likes of McDonald's and Walmart and others in the space. So it keeps me in the brand game
Yep.
and keeps my mind going, which is great.
Jim, thank you so much for being on Lift Up. I think everything we talked about today was so powerful. I know people are going to learn a lot from it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Hey, welcome back. Today, we are so excited to have Gordon Zellner, CEO and founder of Evergreen Trading. Gordon is a powerhouse in not just business strategy, but finance and marketing too. I love this guy. I'm so excited to have you on the show. With a proven track record of delivering impactful results, Gordon has successfully led strategic initiatives for some of the world's most recognizable brands. You know them, you love them: Pepsi, Home Depot, Kellogg's, Pfizer, and Nestle. Gordon, welcome so much to Lift Off.
Thank you. I'm exhausted.
Well, that was a huge intro,
Yes.
but the theme of this episode is all about authenticity.
Mhm.
And what you do at Evergreen Trading is one of the most authentic offerings that I've seen in my career being a CMO. Tell me a little bit about what inspired you to start Evergreen Trading.
Evergreen Trading was less about inspiration than it was about circumstance.
Okay.
And what I mean by that is I had gotten into this business in the early 90s. I loved the business. It was unique. It was different. It was a lot of business concepts that were linked together and made sense when they were linked together, but taken individually, they didn't create the same value that they can create when you bring them together. So I did this for 15 years with another company. My family and I moved to Colorado in what turned out to be August of 2008 with a plan. That plan was based on a financial plan. And in September of 2008, things were different. And so I had to work more than I expected. And Evergreen became the byproduct of necessity.
Tell us and tell the viewers a little bit about how you stay true to yourself and how you stayed true to yourself from 2008 until now and everything that's happened.
Well, I think it starts with figuring out who yourself is, because you can't be true to yourself if you don't really get to a point where you are comfortable with yourself. And interestingly, I got that experience inadvertently, as maybe a lot of things in my life, in high school when I took a trip to Colorado and went through a process of trying to find a summer job and found a summer job, and things just didn't turn out the way I expected. But it really was my almost outward bound experience. And I spent about 8 weeks working out there by myself. It was the first time I had left the house. It was the first time I was on a plane. It was the first time for a lot of things. But when I came back from that experience, in retrospect, what I had learned was I learned how to live with myself. I learned how to be comfortable with myself for someone who was 16.
Yeah.
And so I think when you talk about authenticity, I think it starts with the ability and the understanding of who you are. Because how can you be authentic if you're not connected or self-aware with who you are? Now, obviously, who you are changes in your life. And another element that I think has been very valuable for me has been the willingness to be introspective throughout my life. And as I've gone through different experiences, professionally or personally, positive ones and negative ones, I've had a healthy amount of introspection that has helped me view those experiences and what I got from them and how they changed me or how they impacted me. So by building ultimately a self-awareness and then a comfort with myself, I think authenticity is actually the byproduct of that other work.
Yeah.
I don't know that you're magically authentic. I think you are connected to who you are. And if you let that come out, it then is authentic. And then the only other thing I would add is I really try to listen before I speak, because, someone once told me you have, 2 ears and one mouth for a reason.
I love that.
And I think listening first is a great way to get the process going, because if you speak first,
Right.
then you're not adapting to what the environment is offering.
Got it. It's so smart. It's so simple. I love it. Thank you so much, Gordon, for being on Liftoff. And for everybody watching, stop, think, and listen. And we'll be right back. Hey, everybody, welcome back. And we are absolutely thrilled to welcome a very special guest to Liftoff. Today, we have Mark Roberge, the lead singer and rhythm guitarist of the iconic band OAR. I know you know their songs. I do too. I love them. And Mark is here because he's not just a celebrated musician, but also a true champion of authenticity, both on and off the stage. Let's not waste any more time. Let's dive into it. Mark, welcome to Liftoff.
Thank you so much for having me.
What advice do you have for people who, over decades, change, as we all do, around remaining true to your core and following through on what you believe in?
So I've had the pleasure of working with this guy, Greg Wattenberg, who owns and operates this place in New York City called the Artist House, which is it's a current Brill building, Motown, like creating music with the artists, young artists, established artists, everybody in one place, supporting the New York City music scene. And what I've seen through that is these young artists are coming through and they're highly, highly skilled in musicianship. They're highly, highly skilled in social media, tech, all of these areas that I am not skilled in, and learning the guitar as a utility to make sure I can express myself and sing my songs and these other things that I came up on looking at my heroes. And what I've noticed is there is a space where you can remind them that tangible dollars, tickets and t-shirts is what will enable you to continue a long effort as an artist, a true artist. And when I say true, what I mean is someone who has freedom to create something that isn't aimed at a marketplace. And then after you create it, then they can aim it at these marketplaces very successfully. And they know more about that than I do. But I think there is a void there where I believe young folks coming up in these industries may not know that it's possible to tour and to create live experiences at very small numbers to see that multiplication. So when they have 250 people at a show, they don't realize what a success that is, because 250 followers is not a lot. 250 streams is not a lot. 2 million is not a lot. But 250 people who are paying money to come into a venue to watch you sing your original songs is more valuable in the long run than anything else. So my advice to young artists is the same advice that I would give them 20 years ago if anyone were to ask, which they were not. It's be willing to play anywhere, anytime, at the drop of a hat. Put that pride wherever you got to put it, and that ego wherever you got to put it. And I'm sitting right now in a pizza restaurant in Douglaston, and if I had my guitar, I would play it right now if someone asked, right? Because that's what it takes.
For this full interview and more, check out our podcast, Liftoff Journeys with Jeanniey Walden.
It's almost the end of this episode. We're so sad, but it's also the perfect time to do what we love doing, bringing back a past guest who's got a great story to tell. So I'm super excited to bring back my friend, your social media guru, Ted Rubin. As you all might remember, Ted's a leading social marketing strategist, international keynote speaker, and business advisor. He's been shaping the social marketing landscape for many years. But what truly sets him apart is his unwavering commitment to authenticity, or what he calls return on relationship. Hey, Ted, welcome back.
Well, my pleasure. Jeannie, I can't believe it's been 18 months since that day when I walked in there. And to make that even more amazing, it's a long period of time, since we were together for that kind of an interview, but it's an incredibly short period of time for the success that you've achieved with Liftoff. So that's, really got me excited. And my heart is warmed because you put so much effort and so much love and so much passion into everything you do. I'm really excited to see you succeed.
So tell me, what have you been up to since the last time you've been on Liftoff?
Truth be told, I'm just continuing to do what I've done. And as far as major successes, look, I've been lucky to work with a company called Evergreen Trading since February of 2020. And it's done my heart good to see the way they've achieved. Our first 2 years in a relationship, we actually originally connected in a business perspective right before COVID hit. And what amazed me about them, which was so in line with me, was that they did everything they could over that period of time where we were all shut down, maybe frightened, weren't getting out a lot, to build and maintain the relationship with me. And then what that's done for me now over the last 18 months, it's allowed me to leverage all my contacts, all the people I know, and kind of pay that back in another return relationship format. So my relationship with them has only grown. I know more and more people in the company. I love the way they treat their employees and their partners. And it's allowed me to expand, go to a lot more brand innovators event, keep my brand alive because I'm not out there as much as I used to be.
Awesome. Well, Ted, I can't wait to have you back on the show soon.
I have a time in mind, so I'll let you know.
All right, everybody, that's it for this episode of Liftoff with Jeanniey Walden. Keep following us on social at Liftoff with Jeanniey for tips, behind the scene footage, and information on upcoming guests. See you next time.
The proceeding was sponsored by Liftoff Enterprises, LLC.